Yeah, okay, good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. Dropping heat like every season. Underdog like Willie beaming. Classic like Dom singing. Blasting like bombs ringing. I guess I define...
Hey guys. Yeah, this is insane. I don't know what we're watching.
I didn't know that.
Why is his face longer? His face is longer. This is pre-recorded.
That's what happened. This is AI generated.
Yep.
Nick Sirianni actually was never on the Kansas City Chiefs. This is all AI made. It's all made up to make storylines.
Oh, he's a D3. He's NS D3.
Oh.
I'm calling him NS3 from now on.
Any thoughts? Why is this happening? Why are we
I told
sad?
you it was part of the script.
Why are we sad? We shouldn't be sad.
I'm sad because I just want to watch a good game. Can we get good prime time for once? Like, I just want good prime time. That's all I want. I just want to sit, it's the Super Bowl.
We got a lot of scoring.
Yeah, guys.
You got to take what you can get, all right?
I don't know what... it just was so,
I don't
so
understand.
anticlimactic.
So now you are pulling for a script. You would like a script.
Yeah. It's entertainment.
Yeah. Maybe,
at
maybe
least,
after this they come out and they're like, "Is this what you want?"
At least make it interesting. I would have rather this game at least been I'm fine with the Chiefs losing. I just want it to be 36-40.
Kenny Pickett's playing.
Hell yeah. 36-40. I'd rather have that and it be you go down to the wire and they're battling. But instead we get...
Yeah, obviously. But...
question is, who's Super Bowl MVP? I feel like it's Devontae.
Devontae? No,
Yeah.
it's Jalen Hurts.
Oh, you're right. They're celebrating. There's 3 minutes on the clock. He's already in Gatorade. There's 3 minutes on the clock. This is embarrassing, man.
Yeah.
For the entirety of the AFC, this is embarrassing. We all lost to them.
Mm-hmm. Again, that's what I'm talking about when it comes to the eye test. People try and tell you that you're a moron for going by the eye test, but when you watch the Chiefs play, beautiful.
I mean, look, it's
beautiful. But back to what I was saying. When you go by the eye test, you take a look at the Chiefs and you're like, they're not that good. And then now they're in the Super Bowl and it's 40-14. And Schefter had a bunch of stats about in the playoffs how all of the Chiefs' opposing teams get more penalties than them. In the Super Bowl, that didn't happen. The Chiefs have more penalties than the Eagles. And look at the score. Yeah. I'm saying there's validity to this conspiracy.
No, yeah, look, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back in any way because I took the Chiefs. But I was right in the fact that it has to come to an end at some point.
Yeah.
And it finally came to an end. And this was the night. The numbers, the luck course corrected. We talked about it all year of it's got to happen at some point where it course corrects.
Yeah,
Look at this guy in the back.
Yeah, Schefter was talking about. Schefter said that he was defending the Chiefs, and he was like, "Look, this season they've won 16 games by one score." He's like, "That's crazy. That's a crazy stat. That's an insane stat. That means they're clutch." Some of us would hear that insane stat that they've won 16 games by one score.
Yeah.
And we would think, okay, if there's a gambler who goes on a run like that, we'd say that he's... Could you shut up? We'd say that he's cheating.
Yeah, This is just... I'm at a loss for... I don't know what to say. Okay, you're done. You're done. For now,
He keeps coming over. He keeps going over. Hey, look what I got. Look what I got.
For
look
now,
what
you're
I
done.
got.
I know you got a new toy, but you got to be done for now. Yeah, no, I just don't know what to say, man.
Yeah, like
I'm
I
just at
said,
a loss.
they're willing to kill the baby bird to save the nest.
I don't even think they're I don't think they're killing the baby bird. It's just they the Eagles won this fair and square. Yeah, there were penalties, but none of them are calling back touchdowns. None of them are other than the very first one on 4th down, there was no other penalties that were
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's by killing the baby bird. The Chiefs didn't get anything going their way.
Oh, yeah. I just think it's Well, it's hard when you don't even when the game's not even close.
Yeah, there was
Because
no
you
calls
can't-
that tipped in the Chiefs' favor this game.
Well, that's my point because it's not even close. They got boat race because they won all these games. You can have close calls and it goes it doesn't go under the radar, but you can say, oh, it just came down to that one call.
Yeah.
If we had all those calls during this game, you're like, okay, it's rigged, bro.
Yeah.
But if it's just they got blown out, so there wasn't even an opportunity for anything like that to happen. It was just a boat race from the very beginning, and the Chiefs just didn't look like themselves. Like they basically were like, okay, Jalen Hurts beat us, and he did. That's what it came down to because they decided that Saquon was everything, and they did keep Saquon in check. He had 80 yards on the night total, all-purpose, passing and rushing, or receiving and rushing, but he didn't even score a touchdown.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they did what everyone was like, we need, that they thought they needed him to do because they thought that Jalen wasn't capable. And then he showed out. That offensive line was the complete difference. And I talked about this, too, was when we were making the parlay, we talked about how, we were talking about their offensive line having issues and how that was going to work out. And it was. Because of all the pressure up the middle, it didn't matter that they moved their guard out to tackle because there was so much pressure up the middle that then the double teams the double teams weren't working. Nothing was working. So Patrick was on the run the whole game. It was just like we still have 3 minutes to go and it's just the game's over. It's incredible. I don't know what to say other than just the Chiefs just got obliterated fair and square and that's it.
It's incredibly simple. The better team won.
Yeah.
And that's what that's what has been off about the Chiefs is that they have not been the better team in a lot of these matchups and they've been winning. Right? This is what it should look like. Like the better team won. The better roster won the game.
This is how far my
That's
brain
normal football. The better roster wins.
Well, and how surprising it is. This is how far my brain was going today because I was thinking through the next 5 years, right? Because you think about it and you're like, okay, they can't do this forever. And I was thinking about the Tom Brady era, right? Of him going to 10 different Super Bowls. And there's years where they go and they lose, right?
Yeah, and he went 10 years without winning.
Right, so I was thinking about it today, and I'm like, man, okay, if they keep going, because it doesn't look like anyone's capable in the AFC of of beating them. So, they're going to be in the Super Bowl a ton of times, and, maybe it's a LeBron legacy, but he's already ahead of LeBron in terms of championship record. But it's, I was just thinking today, man, we're not going to see, they're going to get this three-peat, and then what happens after that? I have no idea. But, yeah, shout out. I mean, they're showing right now, they're showing Saquon on the TV, and they're showing all the guys that work so hard. Saquon, shout out him, 8 years, just, being in the trenches of the New York terrible team.
Screw all that. Let's talk about the Great White Hope. Let's talk about Cooper DeJean.
Well, let me finish my point. All these guys, especially Saquon, it goes to show all the guys that are stuck in terrible situations. Ooh. Wow.
Oh!
Holy Moses.
That was a great play. Worthy touchdown.
That was insane.
That was an insane throw. Insane. Being able to find the ball in that space, double covered, and be able to make that catch is crazy.
Yeah. I don't know what I was saying. What were you going to say?
Cooper DeJean should be a Super Bowl MVP. For being able to perform while being at a disadvantage across the board. You know what I'm saying? I will go as far as making him White Man of the Week. Super Bowl White Man of the Week, Cooper DeJean, being able to perform. Being able to chase down Xavier Worthy. You know how hard that is for a guy like him?
Imagine they come back right here.
Now Hopkins is showing out. There's no way they don't have any timeouts. If they get a first down or two, it's over.
But they can. But I mean, there's the onside portion.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true. They're getting onside now.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was gonna say is all these teams, all these guys that are stuck in terrible situations, hold out hope because maybe you can get into a situation like this where you end up with the Eagles. I mean, this feels Saquon to this team feels like KD to the Warriors.
Yeah, 100%.
And
it's a great roster, and nobody gives it credit for being a great roster.
Well, what's even more symbolistic about it, and it'll be even more interesting too if we get this like a couple more times, is like if Saquon's on this team and if he has like a game where he goes off, even not even if he goes off, but just in general, like getting. My point is Jalen Hurts the Kevin Durant to Patrick Mahomes, LeBron James, where he gets too, like, he's so dominant early in his career, but then just, like, the right stretch of things happen, and, like, the right couple things happen. KD goes to the right team, and he's able to get a couple off of him and be the one shining hope until Patrick gets old or the roster gets bad. I don't know. I don't. There's no real point I have other than just the Chiefs just suck tonight. Their defense played terrible.
They look terrible. No, their defense did not play terrible. Their defense played great. Casey's defense, they played great.
You have 40. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? They shut down the main thing that had been beating every team this entire season is Saquon. They shut down Saquon. Like, what are you getting at? Are you wanting perfection? Because I don't think a defense can be perfect. They shut down what the game plan was to shut down. It's just that the Eagles roster is so good that, like, they do have a dominant pass game. We know that from previous years. It's just this year they had a dominant run game.
Dude, stop. Okay, you're done. Holy Moses. I just expected more. Like 40. You got 40 hung on your head.
Yeah, but are you saying... So if you're saying that the defense played terrible, that would mean that you think the offense played better than the defense. Mm-hmm. I would disagree. Their O-line played terrible. Patrick threw 2 picks. They barely even ran the ball. Besides these couple
you mean
big
no?
plays.
I thought you meant the Eagles.
Oh no, Chiefs.
I think the whole. My point is the whole team played terrible. Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone played well. I just expected more in general from them as a whole. Like their just whole team did not show up in any way, shape, or form. I understand that they shut down Saquon, but they just like all this talk about Trent McDuffie and like. Even me, I was hyping up Justin Reed. Like
Big Dom in there.
They just played terrible. I mean, kickoff to 000s. They played terrible.
True, but I think there was a lot of very big explosive plays that the Eagles got over Casey's defense.
But that's the thing. Casey didn't let that happen all year. Like whether it was run or pass, they just didn't let it happen, and so that's why I think they didn't play well.
Casey to know if they gave up explosives or not.
I hope Travis Kelce retires.
There's no way he's going to retire after a loss. He would have retired off of a win.
I don't know. He was atrocious tonight.
Yeah, he was terrible. Travis was by far the biggest disappointment tonight.
Travis has looked out of shape the entire year. I don't know what his deal is. Like he's just been sluggish. Like I don't know. He's been.
Yeah, and everybody in the meeting was like, "Oh, he's turning it on in the playoffs. Turning it on in the playoffs." Yeah, it's because he was lazy the entire regular season.
He's looked terrible the entire year.
That's something that just people knowing regular things that happen in football. That is something that is graded when you're looking at players if they're third down players or they play 1 through 3.
Yeah.
If they play 1 through 3, that's a plus. If they only play third down, that's a minus. Yeah. And it's like we give Travis like praise for being a third down player, like it's the complete opposite of to regular football. A guy who's a third down player is labeled as lazy, and he drops in like draft prospects.
Unless it's like a running back.
Yeah, if he's a third down running back, but he's not going to go in like the first round.
Different.
He's not going to be a game changer.
Yeah, it's different.
Like if we're looking at like. Even Chris Jones, like, I would say Chris Jones has turned into a third down defensive tackle. Yeah, but he's older too, so.
So where do the Chiefs go from here? What changes? What changes make? Because they went to the Super Bowl, but they didn't win. And so usually you get everyone who wants more money, but they're a band of misfits. So what changes?
You got to take a look at who's going to retire this year. Chris might retire, so... You might have to really try and strengthen up. But Myles Garrett is also there. You know, maybe you trade a couple guys for Myles Garrett. Problem is, I don't know how valued everybody on the Chiefs is right now.
Right.
Especially
coming off of this.
Yeah, especially their wide receivers. I don't know how valued they are. Hey, just like the Mavs. Jalen Hurts is the same mindset as the Dallas Mavericks.
Mm-hmm.
That's his mom. He doesn't have a girlfriend. That's his mom. He doesn't have a girlfriend. Jalen Hurts is single.
Yeah, I look, man. I just don't have anything else to say. I mean, it was 40-0. That 22 points is bullshit.
Yeah,
it
22
was 40-0.
There's a lot of Kansas City Chiefs fans in Colorado. I was at the supermarket today, and the amount of like guys wearing Kansas City shirts, hats, fucking insane. Especially being right next to Bronco Stadium, Mile High Stadium.
Yeah,
they're repping Kansas City gear.
Yeah, they're gonna get a lot of shit.
No, they're never gonna wear it again. They're never gonna wear. That's the problem. That's the problem. Is that if it was just KC fans wearing KC gear, I'd like it. But these bandwagoners. Same thing with the Cowboys. They probably have Cowboys gear in their wardrobe.
In the locker.
Yeah. In their closet, they have Cowboys and then KC gear. Yeah, KC fans. I don't know. It feels like I want to be nice to you, but at the same time, I don't. Because you guys have been so horrendous to talk to this entire season.
I have nothing against the KC fans. You're the only one who looks at the comments. I don't look at the comments, so I have no idea. Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I have no idea. I have no clue.
Joe Burrow would have won. Joe Burrow would have won this game. Joe Burrow would have won that game. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying you.
Moral of the story: you can be a chill guy and win the Super Bowl, but you have to be from the NFC.
Yeah, you got to be an NFC guy.
NFC chill guy.
NFC chill guys can win.
Bro, I'm at a loss. Like I don't even know what I watched. The game felt like it was 5 minutes. It feels like we just turned the game on.
Yeah, it was a very weird game.
And it went so quick. Like, usually you're watching the Super Bowl and it's like, it feels like it's like 10 o'clock when it finishes.
There was 0 long drives.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of 3-and-outs from KC because they couldn't make adjustments, which is what we thought they were good at doing. Apparently not the Super Bowl. They don't know how to make adjustments.
At least this year. I mean, it's 8:25. The game ended. I mean, it started at 4:30. I guess it's 8:25. So I guess almost 4 hours. But usually it's about 4 hours and 15 minutes, 4.5 hours. And I mean, we're under 4, and we're in and out. That's crazy. Like think about the Patriots Super Bowl where they came back. That felt like an eternity. The Panthers Super Bowl that they lost to the Broncos, I remember watching that one. That one felt like an eternity. I was laying on the ground the entire second half.
These clocks are moving faster than usual.
Something.
There's something in the water that we're drinking.
University of Wyoming's capitalizing on that Josh Allen MVP because he's the only notable thing to ever come out of University of Wyoming Cowboys.
That sucks. Jason Kelsey didn't get a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that does suck.
That does suck. But I'm glad Jalen got one. I think the disrespect the Eagles have, I switched up my take because of talking to you in the past 2 weeks. The Eagles' disrespect is real. A lot of people don't think Jalen Hurts is that good. A lot of people give the same criticisms that they give Brock Purdy being a game manager. But, I mean, being a game manager is just plain quarterback.
I don't think he's a game manager. I just have never thought he's an X factor. Like after the Super Bowl last year, he just wasn't an X factor. He had that one really good year. Even throughout the regular season this year, he was not an X factor. In the playoffs, he was not an X factor. But look, it doesn't matter if you're an X factor. You won the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what anyone says if you're an X factor or not. You won the Super Bowl. You're going to win Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, this kind of like resets. I would hope this resets the mindset of NFL fans because it has been X factors. X factors is what we rank 1 through 3.
Well, because Patrick Mahomes was just destroying the league, it was like there's no one who can. Oh boy, what is this?
We didn't say that. A.J. Brown said that we hate that he can't throw the ball. I told you this was going to happen. What did I say about the underdog thing?
Yeah.
Best roster in the league.
Look, Jordan paid for that ad, hoping he would win the win the MVP. That's crazy, or not even MVP, hoping he would win the Super Bowl. Because if he doesn't, that doesn't air.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, the Chiefs. Well, look, Patrick was defying the odds of like last year. They were rebuilding and they won the Super Bowl. So it's like it doesn't matter. You just have to have a better quarterback. Mm-hmm. Now it's like it's been anti-football for the last 2 years. This year has been like it was the best roster.
Yeah, this year has been football. You run the ball.
You run the ball
like God intended.
Yeah,
you run the ball. God damn it.
Run the ball. Tackle well. And don't make mistakes.
Yeah, that's how you win Super Bowls.
And and that's what they did. There's nothing more to say than that.
God's back.
God, hey, you know why?
That's what I learned.
You know why? Trump's in office.
Are you gonna? So now that you said that, can I put that in the short form?
What?
That because I was gonna make it of the reset.
Sure.
I can put it in there.
Yeah, saying Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Bet.
I'm gonna get so much hate. That's fine. Well, Trump's will be seeing them in the. They'll be booking their White House visit soon. Man, I with the way this went, shoot, the Mavs might win the NBA championship.
Yeah. Based on what Jalen said, the Mavs are gonna be A-okay. The Mavs are gonna be just fine based on what Jalen Hurts said.
Oh, boy. Let's hear this.
Defenses win championships.
I think everyone's dumbfounded. Because I think at the very least, even if you picked the Eagles, you didn't think it was going to be this.
I did say at the very start of the game,
you did.
I was like, I could feel a blowout from the Eagles.
Yeah. The craziest part is at no point I was worried until, like, at no point was I worried. It was just the fourth quarter. I was like, it's over. Yeah. Like, it's done. When they threw the bomb, I was like, it's done. But before that, I was just like, it'll be fine. They'll figure it out. You know what's even more interesting? We talk about the Lions this year and how this was their year to win it all, right? Mm-hmm. And then because part of it was because their coordinators were going to get poached.
Yeah.
The Eagles got it done. They aren't going to have the coordinators aren't. I mean, Vic Fangio might return because he's older. He's not looking for a head coaching job, but I'm sure we'll get the notification if it's not already happened, and I just haven't looked at my phone yet, that Kellen Moore has been hired by the Saints. Mm-hmm. So he's out. This was the year to do it.
Yeah.
And the question will be then, can anyone come in and do that? Which this is a thing for my hate towards coordinators being head coaches. And this is the sort of thing that that shows growth and shows maturity, and I think it's something. Part of my reason why I think some coordinators should be coordinators, because there's certain coordinators that are just like, we're just going to throw the ball all the time, and then there's the head coach that reels them in, and those guys don't have the ability to adjust themselves and have that mindset change. We heard them say it during the broadcast. Kellen Moore was. I mean, Nick Sirianni is a delegation guy for sure. He's not. I could be wrong that he's making calls like this, but from what it sounds like, Kellen Moore was like, "Let's throw the rock," and that's how it was the first 4 games of the year. And then all of a sudden, he was like, "You know what? We're better at running the ball. Let's make the adjustment to run the ball, create more run sets, not just run plays. Like, we're not just going to run the ball more. We're going to create more advantages and different schemes to run the ball." That is a point of growth that you don't see from a lot of coordinators, which gets you in trouble when you become a head coach.
Yeah.
That is a unique thing and a maturity that you rarely see in coordinators. The ability to say, like, okay, yeah, this is working, so I'm going to just do what works. And that's what I think a lot of guys beat themselves on. I can say that as the OC of our Madden franchises. I'm going to do this thing because I want it to work, and it should work, instead of just doing what works.
Yeah.
And so that's a rare, mature thing, I think, from Kellen Moore that is encouraging for the Saints. If you're the Saints organization watching him throughout the year, which is why I think he got the job, that's growth over the course of a year that you can see that in somebody that's like willing to just do what works. And I think that's really important when you're a head coach. Just don't beat yourself. You know. So it'll be interesting to see who fills that spot for the Eagles, and then what that means. Is their roster just good enough to where you can just throw anybody in there?
If they can keep everyone, yes.
Yeah, which, I mean, no one's contracts are up. Yeah. So
but
Jalen just
that's
got
never
paid.
stopped people before.
I know, but Jalen just got paid. Devontae's on his rookie deal still.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown still has years on his deal. The O-line, no one's retiring. So, like, offensively, I don't think anyone's going to go. If anything, like, Jalen Carter's still on his rookie deal.
But all of that never stops anyone from trying to restructure their contract for more money.
Sure, but it's easier to kick the can down the road and say, we'll just restructure we can restructure your contract. Let's deal with it later. If you've got years on your deal, sure. And honestly, restructuring your contract isn't the worst thing in the world, because most likely after, like, if you're in your deal when you win the Super Bowl and you have a couple more years till you get your next one, it's actually better for the team to try and renegotiate, because then if you were to not and you won another one in that time span, then you're going to be forced to pay the big bucks. Whereas if you just renegotiate after winning the Super Bowl, everyone's already still on their contracts. You just get it over with.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay the market resetting money that now we see the Bengals paying for Jamar Chase, that we saw the Cowboys pay for Dak Prescott. Just do it now. Do it now. Do it today. Get the restructuring done so that if you continue to have success, you're not having to pay the premium positions, the market resetting money, and screw up one yourself, but also the league.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's the worst thing in the world if people are asking to restructure their contracts. And they don't have an old team. The defense is all young, so there's no one that's like Cooper DeJean's young, Reed Blankenship's young, C.J. Gardner-Johnson's the only key player I would say on their defense.
Zach Bond's pretty old.
Yeah, and he's a free agent, so I mean, he's not gonna. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's gonna be asking for market resetting money. Jalen Carter's on his rookie deal. You've got years until you have to pay any of these guys, so I don't see this team breaking up. I think this is a rare position of there's youth on both sides. Usually there's youth on one side of the ball or on the other side of the ball, but in this case everyone's sort of good right now. I think this is a unique Super Bowl winning team in terms of contract structuring if you're looking at it from a GM perspective.
I did call the whole. Everyone doubted the Eagles. Everyone thinks the Eagles are trash. Everybody thinks Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball. I did call that. I did call that was going to be the narrative.
Yeah.
It's not even close to the narrative. Hell yeah. I'd do a lot of things to get on that. To get on that tractor.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I mean, so Jalen Hurts wins Super Bowl MVP. The question is, do you think they get another one in the next 5 years? I don't think so. I think this is a one and done sort of thing. I think they'll make some NFC Championship appearances. Maybe they even make a Super Bowl, but I don't know if they'll get it. I think they'll get back to the game in the next 5 years, but I don't know if they'll win one.
I think they'll win one more.
You think so?
I think their best chance is next year.
You think so? Coming right back.
If nobody
back
leaves, their best chance.
Yeah, because I mean, you look around the league, and the Commanders are the oldest team in the playoffs. Detroit just lost their if you're looking from an NFC perspective, Detroit just lost their group. The Browns are miles away from getting back to where they are. The Vikings have a huge question to answer at quarterback. Mm-hmm. The Packers are still a ways away, I think, from being a Super Bowl team. Yeah. They don't have any pedigree in that way. I'm trying to think of who else is a player in the NFC in terms of championship potential. Those are pretty much it. Those are the big ones. So I mean, you're probably right. Next year's probably their best shot.
Yeah.
AFC then if you have to go, so take the Eagles out of it, who's your Super Bowl winner next year?
Without the Eagles?
Yeah, take the Eagles out of it.
Ravens.
Ravens. Because rarely is the team that won the Super Bowl favored. Mm-hmm. Like the last 2 years that the Chiefs went back-to-back, the Bills were the favorite after that. So
I would say that because based on their team, they should have been in the Super Bowl. It's just like getting over the hump. But everybody gets over the hump once. Or twice. You know, like, it takes a special guy to continuously get over the hump. Those are generational talents.
Yeah, and here's the weird thing. Like, I look at the AFC, and the reason I asked about where do the Chiefs go is because there's a bunch of misfits. It's like, one, no one really wants the guys, but you kind of lucked out throughout this year. So if you bring the same squad back, you could end up being 7-10. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not like we all agree at this point after watching this game that there's a lot of luck involved, and their luck finally ran out. So you're like,
Chiefs fans, after this game, if you still think that this season didn't have a lot of lucky situations and a lot of situations that went towards the Chiefs' side, and that's the reason why they had such a good
luck,
record, you're
refs, whatever you want to talk about.
You're a moron.
Like, I don't think every one of their wins was refs. I think some of them were luck too. I just think it's interesting because you look at it and you're like, man, if they bring everybody back, like, what are they going to do? What's the splash they make to make this a Super Bowl contending team? Because I don't think any of us looked at this team and were like, they're Super Bowl contenders, but they're here. So now if you bring the same squad back and nothing, and just like the Vikings where everything, like, they didn't win all those games the next year and then Kirk got hurt, what is the Chiefs then? It's, you know, I don't know. I don't know where you go from here. It feels like they're going to be 7-10 or something crazy. Yeah. But then, of course, they'll be in the Super Bowl next year again. Mm-hmm. So they've won 3 in 5 years.
Yeah.
They won 3 in 5 years. Eagles have
was the 4th out of 5 years?
What?
Because they've won 4 in total.
They have won 4? No, I think this was their 4th.
No, the Chiefs have won 4.
Because I thought they had the one against the Niners, and then they went back-to-back. And then this was their 5th trip.
Could have been.
Oh, look. I don't remember.
Could have been.
I just opened my phone, and it was Kanye's Super Bowl ad. Because I think this was his 4th. If he would have won this one, it was his 4th before 30. I think. 3. 20, 23, 24. This would have been the 4th. Damn. So 3 in 5 years. I don't think they're even, like, I don't think they make the AFC Championship next year. But again, I don't want to bet against it.
I'm going to say it again. I think tomorrow there's going to be a huge narrative of like, oh, you guys think the Chiefs are cheating. Look what happened in the Super Bowl. Like, did the refs help them out in that? I think this is more evidence that the refs were cheating to get a narrative that the NFL wanted. Because you see what happens when they don't get all these crazy calls, and there's not like they have a terrible negative play, and then there's a random penalty that comes in. You know, I will say that. But again, it could be the same shit as this year, where the refs or they just get lucky like this year. Yeah, like he said, Schefter said they've won 16 games this year by one score or less, which is like if you throw that stat into any other area of the world, you're like, that person's cheating.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what. Compared to everyone else, like, that person has a crazy...
Or it's just a crazy bell curve. Like, you're just in that one stretch where you hit 50 heads versus tails.
Yeah. Yeah, it could just be the bell curve. But you never know. They could... You know what's great? A revenge story. Trying to get the Chiefs back into the public eye of being the favorite.
That's what I was going to say. It almost seems like they're getting blown out for a reason, and so that they could... I didn't even turn it off all the way. They could get blown out.
The Chiefs aren't Belichick-y, right? The Chiefs aren't made to be villains. Like, as much as they say, yeah, we love like villains, like everybody on that team's nice.
Yeah. It's they're the kid in school that everyone hates, but it's because his dad's rich, he drives a BMW, and he's the quarterback and the starting point guard.
Yeah.
That's the Chiefs. They're not the underdog. They're not like I'm just going to throw a name out here. They're not villain. Like when we're thinking
Sanders?
about yeah. He was a villain. Whereas like you think about I'm trying to like that's my comparison. No one else out there will get it but us. But like they're just the kid that's just privileged. Mm-hmm. They're not really villains. It's just everyone doesn't like them. They just are unlikable people.
I'm excited to see what Nick Wright has to say about this. I'm very excited because he's talked a lot of shit these past couple of weeks. He called out Adam Schefter.
It's going to be hard for his character because he definitely has a TV character, obviously, as most TV personalities do. He is, I believe, from Kansas City, so he is a Chiefs fan, a legit Chiefs fan.
Yeah.
But
if he's not
he
from
dials
KC,
it up,
bro.
But he dials it up. He dials that character up. So it'll be very interesting to see what his character arc is over the offseason.
Yeah. He's going to pick one guy. I'm predicting Nick Wright will pick one guy.
It's going to be Travis Kelce.
Yeah, Travis Kelce or maybe like a certain O-lineman, and he's just going to rip him to shreds.
No, it's going to be Travis.
You think it's going to be Travis?
It's going to be Travis.
I will say it's going to be someone on the O-line that'll pick.
Well, because,
that's
I
my
mean,
prediction.
like, you said this at the beginning, and you said it jokingly, but I think there's some legitimacy to it. Like, he looked hungover.
Yeah, he did. He looked out of it.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at Travis Kelce, every time there was a close-up, he was like...
Yeah. He looked...
He was like he's in war right now, and he just saw his family get murdered. That's how he looked.
Yeah.
Like he's going through something deep.
Yeah. I think
maybe,
he's just
maybe
in disbelief.
Taylor broke up with him before the Super Bowl.
She's still there.
Oh, my God. Taylor said... Hey, if you don't win this,
we're done.
We're done. And then like they went up, and all of a sudden
it's 40-0.
It's just like
there's flashbacks.
There's flashback. There's headlights everywhere. There's blinking lights everywhere. And he's just like Taylor, please. And he's like bleeding out while he's crawling towards a shadow. That's what he looked like.
Yeah,
he looked like he was in the 1820s.
Yeah, it looked like he was in turmoil, man. He looked out of shape. He looked hungover. He just looked terrible. I don't know.
And why wasn't Pacheco given the ball?
Because I don't think Pacheco has been the same. Like, I think...
They never even gave him the ball that much, like, when he came back.
Well, it was weird. Like, this makes it feel even more scripted because they came out and they didn't run the ball till, like, the third quarter.
Yeah.
Like, even in the first quarter where it's a close game, they were just like,
Just throw it.
And the first couple passes, we were like, uh-oh.
They were just...
Because Mahomes was slinging it. Yeah. And we were like, oh no. He's going to be doing crazy things.
They just continued to try and milk check Deshaun, and Deshaun showed up.
Yeah, I mean... I hate when people do this, but I'm gonna do it anyways. If you and again, I'm just gonna say it. Let's leave the 22 points on the board. Uh-huh. If you take away the no.
I'm laughing because I've gotten so much shit on the internet for doing that. What you're doing.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just thinking like, okay, I'm trying to like rationalize this. The only reason I'm doing this is because I'm trying to rationalize it. Like, you take away the pick six, you take away but that's it. Like, you can't even do it in this game because it was that bad. Like, that's the only play where you go, okay, if we take that one away, like this mistake, then how's the score look? It's still 34. At the very least, it's 33
you
to 22.
You could take away the other pick.
But that wasn't a pick six.
It wasn't a pick six.
And they had a field goal after it. So, like, you take away 9, okay, it's still 30 to 22. Like, you can't even do that in this game where you go, like, I was just about to say, okay, well, let's take away this, let's take away that. What really did the game come down to? You can't even do it. They just got manhandled.
Yeah.
And
to me, the fact that they got manhandled and they got more penalties called on them than for them I mean, I'm gonna
I don't care who the
keep
penalties-
going with the conspiracy.
I don't know. I don't care who the penalties are for. That you said it. That reffing crew never needs to do the Super Bowl.
Yeah, never again with that referee crew. They were calling penalties that in the Super Bowl should never be called.
Phantoms.
They should never be called. Like even that one on that Chiefs player who the whistle got blew. He hit Saquon. Even that in the Super Bowl, like let that go. It's the Super Bowl. Like only like terrible, egregious shit gets called in the Super Bowl.
You know what I hate about this? The same way when you get older, Christmas doesn't feel like Christmas. This didn't feel like the Super Bowl.
We're not drunk enough.
It wasn't like fun enough to get drunk though.
We need to drink a lot more beers.
I gotta work tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. That's all I've got. I have no other analysis until I step away from this emotionally and I take a day to like emotionally come away from this and like come back down to earth of like, okay, I'm over the game being terrible. Mm-hmm. What did I watch? What was this?
I would like to apologize to Chiefs fans. I'm sorry that you guys got tricked into thinking that you guys have a really great football team.
The greatest team
we
of
were
all time.
We were on the bank. We were like, hey, there's sharks in the water. And you were like, all Chiefs fans, they're like, I want to hit this wave. What are you talking about? There's no sharks in here. I saw the weather report. There's no sharks in this area.
The weather report. There's no sharks in this area.
There are no shark. The shark report. That's what they saw. And they're like, no, we're fine. Like, no. I mean, you guys, it really did. They got called out.
They got bamboozled.
Yeah. Like, there was no more of this. Like, oh, Patrick Mahomes just is clutch. He just wins. And we're like, why is he clutch? Just because he is. Why do they win? Oh, because they just win. Like
I would dial
like,
it back because they're probably going to win the Super Bowl next year. Just dial it back.
No, we can do it right now because when it doesn't make sense, there's actual like when something doesn't make sense when you watch it, you should be able to say, "Hey, that doesn't make sense," and people shouldn't call you a moron. People shouldn't call you a moron. And I just want to make that very clear. When we watched the Chiefs this year, it didn't make sense that they were winning, and people were just said, "Oh, they're just better," but nobody could give a clear reason.
Look, my days, I'm having a great day. The Chiefs lost, and Patrick Surtain's the DPOI. I'm having a great time.
You picked the Chiefs to win.
I know.
I picked the boys.
Yeah, I mean, it was my pick, but I didn't want them to win. I'm happy that they didn't. They're from our division. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want them to win, but I picked them to win.
Patrick retires.
Imagine.
He says,
Oh
"I'm
my
done."
gosh. Could you imagine the shock that it would send the NFL into? It would be a frenzy.
All of a sudden, Joe Burrow wins 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Then we know it's great.
What if it's a Jordan arc where he retires, he goes and plays baseball,
Comes back.
comes back, wins 3 more, then does the three-peat?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you guys go get the team figured out. I'll be back in 3 years.
That'd be funny. Yeah, just to give him cap space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He retires and he unretires. They give him the same contract again.
That's all I have to say.
The Eagles are Super Bowl champions, and Jalen Hurts is the Super Bowl MVP.
Congrats, Philly.
Congratulations, ladies and gents. I'm Devin, that's Sane, and this is Buffet Sports. Please like the video, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate it. It has been a long grind this year, and we finally have made it. You guys can expect some fun Madden franchise stuff from us during this offseason. Of course, the draft rot is going to really begin. This guy is already deep into it. And then I will be...
Kyle McCord's going to be a first rounder. Sneaky pick.
I'm going to be bringing basketball back into the fold for a time until we get back to, anything relevant that has to do with football. We'll pretend that basketball matters. So, all right, guys. We'll see you next week. Good job, bitches.
Yeah, okay, good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. Dropping heat like every season. Underdog like Willie Beeman. Classic like...